Welcome to the JDC West 2021 Entrepreneurship Case Presentation sponsored by Emily. Thank you to our judges, Luke Rekak, Vice President of Brokerage Operations of NFI Logistics, Bryce North, Pitching Investment Coach, Jacqueline Keena, Managing Director of Emily, and Raj Patel, Vice President Commercial Services at RBC. Competitors will have a maximum of 23 minutes to present. The first 5 minutes will be protected time with no questions from the judges. After 5 minutes, you'll receive a notification on Zoom indicating the end of protected time. In the next 15 minutes, judges are free to ask questions during the presentation. Judges will ask questions using the raise hand function on Zoom. Competitors will need to call on judges that raise their hands. At the 20-minute mark, you will receive another notification indicating the start of protected time. Teams will have an additional 3 minutes to conclude their presentation. I will indicate in the Zoom chat at various intervals to indicate the remaining time and will stop any speaker who continues to speak after the maximum time limit. No questions or comments will be permitted from the audience at any time. The audience is also prohibited from communicating to the presenters in any form, including Zoom or via other mediums during the presentations or questions. The Zoom meeting will end following the conclusion of the presentation. Competitors, you may begin the presentation when you are ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us today to listen to our new innovative idea, especially to the judges we have with us, Jacqueline, Bryce, and Raj. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and Luke. We appreciate it. We would love to shake our hands to introduce ourselves, but unfortunately, Zoom doesn't have a feature for that yet. But I'm Jess, and these are my colleagues, Kyle and Harrison. So I'll start off today by telling you just a little bit of a story. So my grandpa is a proud farmer. He used to have a small operation with just one John Deere tractor and a few acres of land. He knew that land inside and out, and he was very proud of the land that he owned. He knew every area where there was maybe not quite as good of fertile land, as well as he knew where every weed was. Now that farming has become such large operations, farmers need to be able to be as hands-on as my grandpa was. So we have an innovative new solution for this to help farmers farm smarter, not harder. We're here today with Grandeur. At Grandeur, we are focused on growth. Grandeur means grow in French because we're helping farmers grow from the ground up. So what is Grandeur? Grandeur is a device that is able to be mounted onto farm equipment to analyze gamma rays emitted from the soil. These gamma rays then can be used to analyze how much nutrients are in the soil and where farmers will need to use fertilizer more. It comes with a desktop version for inside of the farm equipment, as well as an app that can be used to log in on a device or on the computer. So the current way that farmers analyze their soil is through topography maps. These maps are expensive and inaccurate because they only analyze a couple of points in the field and use this in order to generate a topography map of the whole field. These are costly and timely and not that accurate, like I said. So at Grandeur, like I said, we use this gamma ray technology that is a scanner that is directly on your farm equipment. It's going to be very accurate, and the farmers are able to do it as much as they want. They're able to analyze soil for many nutrients, like I mentioned, including potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, and lots more. It creates that digital map that farmers are able to use to optimize their fertilizer usage and to know which crops they should plant that will grow the best in that soil. The device also uses machine learning because it gets smarter as it scans more surface area. We've identified a few market trends that are really going to help our business succeed, including that grid and zone sampling, like the ones that I mentioned. They're inefficient, inaccurate, timely, and the farmer is not the one doing it themselves, so they have to bring in a third party to do all of these soil samplings for them. The Internet of Things makes farming data-driven, and we're able to utilize this data, and the farmer is able to analyze it themselves. Precision farming boosts the effectiveness of all those fertilizers, pesticides, and all those things that they're able to use with precise, accurate information. We have a few product margins here that we want to outline. So our device and the desktop version, it comes to a total of $30,000 as a one-time fee. So software costs $1,500 for less than 1,000 users, or for if they have less than 1,000 acres, excuse me. And the software costs $5,000 if they have more than 1,000 acres. So this is a gross margin of 42% in year one. And then with economies of scale, we hope to get to a gross margin of 50% by our 5th year. Now I'd like to just introduce our talented team a little bit more. So we'll start with Kyle.
Thank you. My name is Kyle. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Grandeur. And I grew up in a farming community, and I've always wanted to give back to those who helped raise me to the person I am today. And I believe that this business is the perfect opportunity for me to do just that.
Hello, my name is Harrison, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer. This past summer, I worked at a business incubator, and this experience introduced me into the startup ecosystem and the dynamic leaders in my area. And this experience has inspired me to launch my own startup with my fellow teammates.
Hi, I'm Jess, like I said, and I'm the Chief Experience Officer here at Grandeur. I am studying business as well as computer science, and this computer science especially has made me want to be able to use computers in a way that will really help, especially farmers, utilize things, as I also grew up in a rural community. Today we're asking for just over $1 million, so $1,025,000 for 40% equity in our company, with a return on your investment of 4.5 times that initial investment in our first 5 years. So our team has invested $10,000 for each of us, so myself and Kyle and Harrison, and so there's a total of $30,000 that we have invested. So I just want to get into a little bit more of what we need from you and what we're going to be offering for you as an investor. So we have an extensive knowledge of the agricultural industry, as we've all grown up in rural areas and in farming communities. Like I said, I have a computer science background as well as my fellow colleague Kyle, so we're able to help with some of that coding that will come with our web app, and it'll be needed there. And we also have some graphic design skills that can be used for our marketing material as well as our product packaging. We also have over 10 years of experience in the customer service industry, which we know will be very helpful as salesmen for this product. And of course, we're willing to hustle. Anything that we need for the business, we are there all day, and we are wanting to make this a real success. From you, we need connections in the agricultural industry especially, as well as some manufacturing and distribution channel connections. We also know that you all have extensive knowledge of the agricultural industry and many connections, which will really help with our business's credibility. And we also need some access to that valuable research and development and capital investment to get our product off the ground. Now I'd like to pass it to my colleague Kyle to talk about our company's vision.
Thank you, Jess. So with this company, we are aiming to make soil scanning accessible to Canadian farmers all across the country. So to do this, what we're planning on doing is to put this soil scanning technology in the hands of the farmers rather than making them outsource it to other companies every single year. And by doing this, we're aiming to lay a foundation to allow farmers to work from the ground up with building their own farming and soil testing equipment and letting them take control of their own farming processes instead of having to rely on outsourcing and other companies to do the work for them. So as you can see, what really makes us stand out is that we are using this proprietary gamma ray technology to empower our Canadian farmers to be able to complete their own soil sampling and utilize their resources efficiently. And by using our technology in this way, we are saving them time and we are saving them money. And in the end, that's really what matters when you're trying to work as a farmer. Luke, I see you have a question.
Yeah, when you talk about outsourcing with today's farmers, what are we looking at cost savings here for me to do it myself versus having a third party do it?
Sure, thank you for the question, Luke. So you can see in the slide, we've laid out the existing alternative and our solution that we provide to Canadian farmers. With the existing alternative, it's a consultation-based soil testing, which usually charges around $15 per acre. And the average size of a farming operation is 850 acres, which equates to $12,750 a year. And over the course of 5 years, a total of $63,750. With our solution, we are empowering farmers with tech solutions with an initial lump sum payment of $30,000 for our hardware and yearly recurring payments of $1,500 to use the software that it continues to adapt and improve with our machine learning solutions. So you can see a total cost savings for farmers over the course of 5 years of $26,250, with that number continuing to grow as we continue to improve our machine learning software and keep our prices at a reasonable level. And yes, I'm not sure who came first, but Shirij Patel, you have a question?
Awesome, thank you. So aside from giving us some data on kind of soil composition, can it tell us anything about pests or other pathogens of anything else, any other data?
Yeah, so it's able to actually analyze many things like soil density and a few of those things, salt intake of the soil, but it's not able to analyze how many pests are in the field. We know that this is already able to do so with other precision audit or agricultural items. So we're not competing with that product. We are strictly going for the soil health, but we can for sure look into those growth opportunities in the future. Jacqueline, or sorry, I think Bryce was first. Actually.
Yeah, so two small part question here is what's the return on investment for the farmer? Because I see 5 years, they're still making less in savings than how much it costs for the hardware.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That return on investment would see within the first 5 years would be that $26,000 number. But as you continue to scale, we continue to improve our product with machine learning advancements. You can see a strong return on investment within that 5 times range as comparing to the consultation-based soil testing.
Okay, so part two of that is what's your product life cycle? Are you guys introducing another product after that 5-year mark? Because at that point, they're going to spend another $30,000 for new hardware, right? How long, what's the life cycle? How long does it last?
So we are able to actually improve the product with components. So our idea is that the product can be improved with a new software update, similar to how an iPhone continues to operate and be more efficient. Then after that time, this product should be able to be used for many, many, many years to come. And Jacqueline, I see you also have a question.
Hey, my question is about this product. How does it actually move across the field? Like, what does it move on? Are you also building the hardware, or if you're doing this in partnership with all of these existing products that are already in the field, is it your intent to establish relationships, or how do you actually make this so that it sort of fits on and that user uptake can happen across different kinds of machinery?
This is a great question. So with this product, we're planning on attaching it directly on farm equipment. So as they're doing something like, let's say, cultivating the fields, it'll be scanning the soil while they do it, so they can help properly plan for crops and for later actions to be taken further on into planting season. And we are looking into several possible partnerships, including with larger farming equipment retailers such as John Deere, for instance. And we're really going to be working on forming these partnerships to try and get our products attached to their equipment in the coming years within I believe it's the first 2 years of our operations. Thank you. And actually, while we're on this topic, it's also very important for us to cover how exactly our product is going to get to the customer. So we're planning to manufacture and produce this product in a facility in Winnipeg. We believe that since it is a Canadian product for Canadians, it should be made here in Canada to be as efficient and genuine as possible. And then we'll either transport it to the agricultural dealers to be sold in their stores. Like I mentioned, we're looking into partnerships with John Deere. If that's not possible, we're also compensating for that, because we are also looking into setting up our own retail locations to sell a product from there. And that's going to be quite possible. It's more of a long-term goal at the moment, but right now it can also be used as a possible substitute in the case that we can secure those partnerships. And then from there, the farmers themselves will buy our product, and we'll make sure that we get it attached to their farm equipment, and so it can be used down in the field. Bryce, I see you have a question.
Why incur more costs locally manufacturing locally than going overseas initially?
I think it's really important as a company to really support the Canadian economy, which is truly what we stand for at the end of the day. We really want to support our own local economies and also support the farmers, which we believe just can't be substituted if we were to, let's say, produce it overseas. At the same time, by producing it here, we can guarantee the high quality that we promise our farmers every day with this product.
Thank you.
Now, moving forward, it's also important for us to detail how we're going to market this product and how we want consumers to learn and see it. So we have a marketing budget within the first 2 years of $120,000. We're going to be spending around $35,000 of this on exhibition and trade shows, getting this product, putting it into the customer's hands, and letting them see firsthand just exactly how much of an impact this can have on their life. Additionally, we're also going to be running local commercials. Once again, we really want to support the local community and letting farmers see exactly what this can do for themselves. Additionally, we're also going to try to advertise at agricultural retailers. We're spending around $50,000 of this. And with this, we're really hoping to get the word of our product out there and creating a following that many farmers can work with us and create a much more efficient work process for themselves. Of course, this is only for the first 2 years, so some of these numbers are bound to change as we continue to grow across Canada. Now we can actually jump into more of the specifics with our promotion strategy. So with these agribitions and trade shows, like we mentioned, we're really planning on showing them firsthand exactly how much we can help them and how much we can improve their lives. We're working with John Deere, and we're going to try and form a partnership with them. And all in all, this is all to just give that power back to Canadian farmers. We don't want them to have to worry and rely on outsourcing soiling to other people. We want them to be able to do it themselves and to be able to save money and time while they're doing other things on the farm. Bryce, I see you have another question. I think you didn't mute yourself.
Sorry, yeah, thank you. How many customers does John Deere have right now? How much access does that give you to farmers, and how many?
While we don't have exact numbers right now, they are quite considerably have a lot of access to many farmers across Canada. And we can see that with this partnership, we can expect our sales to grow exponentially. Harrison can give a little bit more details on how exactly our sales will grow, especially after these partnerships. And overall, we do believe that we can see much more sales coming from this. Let's see, I'm not sure who was first for that other question. Jacqueline, if you would like to go.
Yeah, if I can build off of one thing you said there. So you talk about giving power, data back to the farmers. Can you talk to a little bit about a data or IP strategy that you have, either in terms of the value of the company you're building, or in terms of what you intend to do with farmer data? Is there sharing? Are you benchmarking, or is this just sort of a one-to-one relationship, farmer to your business and back?
So a big part of our company is that we want to implement some sort of machine learning to become more and more accurate as more farmers use our product. So we want to create some sort of infrastructure to really source this data and to use it to improve our technology and to become more accurate and more efficient for these farmers. And in the long run, detect more and more things for the farmers to make their lives even easier. Like I believe you mentioned earlier, the idea of pests in the dirt. Ideally, in the long run, we can actually use machine learning to help identify these pests and to be able to use it in an efficient manner to take care and to give the farmer advice on how exactly they should be working with these fields. See, Luke, I see you have a question.
Yeah, with your proprietary gamma scanning technology and kind of the knowledge around this, and aligning yourselves with the large equipment manufacturers, have you guys ever considered just licensing the technology and just run like zero overhead and all money? Has that been a consideration?
Yeah, that is 100% a consideration that we have. We would love to partner with these John Deere dealerships, like we said, for just one example, New Holland. All of these different dealers would be great. And then if they have an interest in licensing, we will 100% be open to that. That's a really great idea. Bryce, I see you have a question as well.
Yeah, now that we're on our market size here, tell me about that total addressable market, who that entails, and your plan for capturing it.
For sure. I'll let Kyle describe this.
Sure. Thank you, Jess. So right now, we're looking at around a total available market of 64.6 billion. This is the total market, I believe, in the year of 2017 for farming expenditures. And on average, around 16% of the total profit made from farmers does actually go back into reinvestments in their own business, which looks at around a serviceable available market of 10.33 billion. Now, of this, with our projected sales in the coming years, which Harrison will be able to speak to in our finances, we're looking at around $40 million in our serviceable obtainable market, which we believe is perfectly obtainable within 5 to 6 years.
What geo is this? One I wanted to know. Location.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't quite catch that.
Locations or country, your total available market here, what countries or cities are these in?
The total available market comes from Canada as a country. And then the serviceable available market is really shrinking down to what's being reinvested in the countries into farming equipment. And that would be, of course, across Canada once again. And the serviceable attainable market is what we believe we can, is the corner of the market we believe we can capture within around 5 to 6 years. And speaking of these finances, I'll actually invite Harrison to speak a little bit more on these.
Thank you, Kyle. So here you can see a breakdown of our pro forma financials for our first 5 years of operations, with a return on investment of 4.5 times within the first 5 years, and a strong break-even point at 320 units sold, which we are planning to achieve in year 3. You can see us breaking even early in year 3 with a gross margin scaling throughout the following years. You can see a really strong 3-pronged revenue structure with the initial units sold, so that large lump sum payment, the 0 to 1,000 acre users paying a $1,500 payment yearly, and the 1,000 plus acre users with that $5,000 payment yearly. And with that, I'll move on and touch on the financials appendix just briefly. Here you can see a breakdown of our cost of sales and our operating expenses. Along the bottom, you'll see some strong notables with our contractual research and development to launch in our first month of operations, our founding team payroll to begin year 2, quarter 1, and us launching our board of directors in the 3rd quarter of our 2nd year. And yes, Bryce, I see you have a question.
Can you go back to your previous slide there?
Yes, for sure.
What happens if you guys don't hit those projected sales units? Do you foresee another financing round, any debt financing? Explain that to me, please.
Yes, absolutely. If we move on to the second stage of our timeline, I'll touch briefly upon our projected plan for our business. If you can just slide to the next slide, you can see within the first 18 to 36 months of operations, we hope we will be achieving product market fit. And with that, we will see some strong revenue projections. And if we don't seem to arrive at that conclusion, we're planning for another round of funding within that 3 to 5 year range to provide us with the funding and the runway to continue our business until succession. And with that, I will pass it back to Jessica to discuss our risk and mitigation.
Thank you, Harrison. So with any business, of course, there's a few risks, but the important part is how you mitigate those risks and overcome them. So we've identified, firstly, that competitors could attempt to use this gamma ray technology that we have found is really beneficial for soil testing. However, we've built this as a private database for our farmers, and we know that we're going to create that network that is going to be really valuable for them. Secondly, if we fail to secure these partnerships, like Bryce, you asked, we are looking into setting up our own store and selling directly to customers. And lastly, if the farmers are hesitant to use a subscription service model and pay that upfront cost of $30,000, we will offer several financing options, including the option to just pay that monthly fee as an annual fee and just paying it once while they're getting that income from farming. And we have a few key performance indicators. So firstly, we want to farm at least one major farming equipment partnership in our first year. And we are going to have over 100 farmers using our subscription service by year 3. Today, we've outlined a very, very exciting, innovative new product for you that we know is going to transform the way that the agricultural industry does soil sampling. We're asking for just over $1 million for a 40% equity stake in our company. And we're creating our own infrastructure to provide a database for Canadian farmers. We have a powerful and innovative team, and I just want to assure you, if you have any doubts for investing in a group of university students, that we are the best group to invest in because university students are willing to hustle. We are just graduating and we don't want to work for anybody but ourselves. So we are going to make this company a success, and we're going to get you that return on investment that we promised. Thank you so much for listening to us today. We are Grandeur. Now, who wants to help us get to the root of the problem? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the judges and our competitors. That concludes this entrepreneurship presentation. Competitors, you may exit the Zoom.
Everyone, great job.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.